to him.
So, book I'm reading from is called Practicing Peace in Times of War by Pema Chodron. And again, in this thing, what do you do when you're sitting on your cushion and you've got your seat established, you've got your breath, you're in present moment awareness, you're anchored in your body, then all this stuff comes up to be dealt with. So we've done with difficult emotions, we've done guilt, we've done
Forgiveness.
a lot of things that we've done. You've heard me say many times, and this is what we're going to do the next couple of weeks, that the way we begin to take control of our lives is by dealing with the root of all suffering. So repeat after me, class. What are the three things that are the root of all suffering? Number one,
expectations.
Judgment. Desiring this state over that state. It's the beginning of dualistic thinking. When you're in unit of awareness, the witness does not judge. If you've got a voice in your head saying, I want this and I don't want that, that's not witness consciousness. That's, yes, you're there, you're present, but it's being filtered through the judge. So people will sit and still indulge the judge unwittingly because they don't know how to recognize it. So witness consciousness doesn't do that. So the way that it manifests is either in attachment to something that isn't there, right? I want something different to be happening. I don't want my hip to hurt. The minute you say that, you're suffering.
Resistance.
Nope.
No.
That's attachment.
Okay, that's attachment.
Trying to push the pain out of your body is the resistance. This is what's going on that I don't want to have happen. So I'm reaching for something that isn't in this moment, and I'm trying to push away something that is in this moment. Does that make sense to people? Mm-hmm. So you will find that this manifests in your body first. And you hear me making a distinction all the time. This is hell. Any resistance or any grasping immediately is a closed fist that holds the suffering in your body, okay? So I think I'm trying to liberate myself, but the more I'm attached to an outcome, and that's what control is, I want something to happen. Even if I want to meditate to be peaceful, you ain't going to get there.
That's what I was calling expectation.
Yeah, expectation. Yeah. So it's that I want. That's part of the monkey mind, that self-referential thinking, trying to get the universe to be about you. And if you haven't figured it out yet, folks, it's not about you. It's benignly indifferent towards you. It did bring you into being. It'll sustain you as long as it can, and then it'll let you go. And your impact will be like sticking your hand in water and pulling it out. That's part of what we're dealing with here is death. We'll get to that at another point. So we're going to look at this.
So now, to review, the three things are
judgment, attachment or grasping, and resistance. Okay? So now we're going to learn to identify them. So Pema says in Tibetan, there's a word that points to the root cause of aggression, the root cause also of craving. So craving is the drawing, aggression is pushing it away. It points to a familiar experience that is at the root of all conflict, all cruelty, all oppression and greed. And that word is Shenpa. The usual translation is attachment, but this doesn't adequately express the full meaning. Think of it as getting hooked, okay? Triggered is a word we're using now. It's the emotional charge behind thoughts and words like, I like this and I don't like that. Here's an everyday example. Someone criticizes you. She criticizes your work or your appearance or your child. What happens? Put yourself there. Can you feel it in your body? Immediately there's a shift. Okay? It has a familiar taste, a familiar smell, and once you begin to notice it, you'll feel like this experience has been happening forever. It's a sticky feeling. It doesn't go away very easily, and it comes along with a very seductive urge to do something. And this is why when we sit, and we'll do another reading next week about when you have an itch and you don't scratch, can you feel the buildup of tension that creates? I've got to scratch, and you don't scratch, and that whole thing builds, and that's what we're going to begin to experience the minute we start saying no. So what's happening when we do that? What's happening is we're building new neural pathways. So the old neural pathway wants completion. It wants resolution. It wants something to be done in the external world to change and get rid of this feeling in me. All right. Now, the approach that Buddhism takes is very different, is that the solution to my itch is not to scratch. That's a temporary relief. And how many times have you found that you scratch the itch and then it moves somewhere else? And now I scratch that itch, or the pain's
Or
here,
you
and I get
scratch
rid
it
of this
before
pain.
you even think about
Before
it.
you even think about
Before
it.
you're aware.
But these people are all totally mindfully aware and would never do that. That was a joke. Okay. So we feel it, it builds, it intensifies and intensifies. So the more we can sit there and breathe into it, and that's what this meditation is going to be about, how to let the thing dissolve, like Linnell's thing of the salt in a glass of water. Oh, I have an aversion to it. Now put the salt in a swimming pool. I can drink a glass, no problem. Or Channy zooming out, giving it space. What else is going on? Because this is going to grab your awareness and put it in that itch. And immediately you lose everything else that's going on. So this zooming out, this space that's moving into the tightened fist, breathing space into it, is the way that we deal with these things as they come up. Okay? Any questions before we go into this? Okay. So begin by thinking of something you have a strong aversion to, something that you're strongly resistant to. Bring that into our meditation. I have things that I call eating my live frog, things that end up on my list every day over and over again, never get done. And there's an old farmer who said that every day, first thing he would do would be to eat a live frog. And his friends were horrified, said, why in the world would you do something disgusting like that? And he says, well, once you've eaten a live frog, you can pretty well rest assured the most disgusting thing that's going to happen today has already happened. So it's learning to deal with this stuff so it doesn't control our lives. So begin by finding a comfortable, yes, one ringy dingy, yes, thank you, dear. Begin to allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. If you find you have a lot of energy, take a quick inhale and let it out slowly with slight resistance. Then begin to calm down your nervous system. If you're a little sluggish, take a slow in breath and let it out quickly. And then let your breath go to its natural rhythm. Assigning that to your unconscious mind. Letting your awareness ground itself in the present moment. Having an intention to be fully present as much as possible. To let go of thinking, doing, settling into simple presence. Doing a quick body scan to see what condition your condition's in. No judgment. Just awareness. Meeting the sensations in mind, body, heart. And in your own time, bring to mind a situation in your life that you've been avoiding. That you have a strong resistance to. Just allowing it to be present in your awareness for the sake of this exploration. And just feel the changes in your body. See if you can sense any clenching associated with the resistance. whether it's physical, mental, emotional. Just allow whatever resistance is there to simply be there. Continuing to bring your awareness to the body manifestation of this awareness. Not trying to change anything, but just observing. Is there any tension? Any feelings of wanting to run? Notice any opposition to fully opening to this discomfort. Is there any sense of rising difficulty? As the mind opposes the body, is there an increasing tightness? This difficulty is the resistance to difficulty. It's what turns your discomfort into suffering. The wish to push it away, to control it, to make it different. Resistance arises uninvited. That's the conditioned mind. But once it's there, invited in, open to it, investigate it, make friends with it. Just settling back just a little bit longer than you think you can stand it. Stretching your window of tolerance. Without pushing away the aversion to pain, just allowing the resistance to come into a non resisting space of awareness. that embraces it without judgment or fear. Where are the sensations found in the body? Every mental state has an associated body imprint. So notice if the body pattern shifts. Is it in your hands, your gut, your throat, your temples, your neck, your shoulders? Does it move? Notice the tendency of the mind, the body to try and close off this discomfort, to push it away. Imagining the resistance as a fist that actually holds the pain and won't let it go, won't allow things to be as they are. The more of resistance, the more the unpleasantness becomes an emergency, closing us off from our lives. The more the resistance, the more the body holds, captures, reduces your experience to the resistance itself. When you feel this directly, breathe into the fist. Breathing out, opening, softening. Letting everything just float in merciful awareness. Receiving everything as it is, allowing things to change moment to moment. maybe visualizing fingers surrendering one by one, giving space for sensation, feelings, or thoughts to be experienced in compassion, non-judgmental awareness. Simply allowing the resistance that creates suffering to release, not pushing it away, which only holds it, but stopping the war, allowing your experience to simply be in a soft receptivity. Allowing, opening, moment to moment, letting go, perhaps surrendering the fear underneath that intensifies the pain. Allowing sensations and feelings to arise naturally. Tension dissolving in the softness. Opening, no longer imprisoning your experience in resistance. Softening at the edges. Dissolving in space. Floating free in the softness. Resistance to pain, resistance to discomfort, resistance to healing, resistance to uncertainty. All floating in awareness, melting moment to moment. Moment to moment, releasing whatever holding remains. Even the slightest twitch of resistance dissolving in the vastness. resistance to resistance dissolving in space, relaxing in a soft, open spaciousness of being, in which everything floats in a compassionate awareness. Surrendering yourself into the vast heart of life. Letting go into the heart of being, into the loving kindness of your deep nature. Beyond the body, beyond the mind. The vast, edgeless space of just being. When you're ready, unmute yourself if you'd like to share.